Yeah.
Yeah, you see?
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, real loose down there. Face up. 3 times a week, the rest of your life in my office. It's nonsense. It's not how chiropractic is supposed to be. Yeah. Ooh, that just felt good on my end.
You had so much fun with it.
That was for me. For England, James? No. For me.
Hey, how's it going, Doc?
Doing well. Wonderful. Tell me about yourself a little bit. What's going on?
Well, I'm feeling some tightness on my right side predominantly, going down the back, going down into the glute. And I noticed that there's pressure points when I stick my finger in my hip. I can feel a little numbness kind of shooting down a little bit. So I'm thinking sciatica and stuff like that.
Glute medius a little bit, you think? Or do you know?
Definitely medius. Definitely medius.
Yeah.
A little bit about it.
How long has that been going on, you think?
So I'd say about a year now is when I noticed it, but I'm sure it's built up over time. I mean, when you notice it, it doesn't really seem like that's when it started. So,
any imaging at all?
A while back, I'd say probably about 2 years ago, I had some done. I probably should have brought those, but I didn't.
It's okay. I mean, do you remember, was it a chiropractor or a medical doctor that ordered?
It was a chiropractor for sure. Yeah.
X-rays?
Yeah.
At 33 years old, I would only order MRIs. I wouldn't even do an X-ray because we're going to miss the most vital thing what's actually causing that, which is nerve pressure. And the thing that causes it is disc inflammation, disc bulging. Yep. And the only really way to evaluate that is a seated MRI. They take these laying down MRIs, so if you have a car with a flat tire and you lift the car in the air, the tire doesn't look so flat.
Yeah.
Which then the patient's like, well, I got this tightness in my thigh and it's killing me, and your MRI looks good. You have to have a stress view, and there's 2 things going on. How far it goes down to the knee?
Well, when I press, so I think
press,
it's a nerve pressure numbness that. But I'm always checking because I do exercise science and all that.
But throughout the day, you feel it in the glute constantly.
If I'm leaning to that side, so I'm sitting for extended periods of time too. So yeah. Well, I teach exercise science and nutrition.
Okay.
My business is called Don Q Fitness.
Okay. All right. Well, we can plug in. I mean, it's
I appreciate that. Wow. Yeah.
Don Q Fitness. So when we're tilting, we're made up of these little holes with wires going through them. When you tilt to the right, so you're saying when you tilt to the right, you feel it more.
Yeah.
But for purposes, I'm going to tilt this model to the left. When you tilt this model to the left, you see how, well, if I tilt to the right, see how that hole gets bigger?
Yeah.
Right? And if I tilt left, it actually gets smaller.
Yeah.
So the holes, and then if I bend forward, watch what happens. The hole gets bigger. And then if I bend back, it gets smaller. This is why we see various things going on typically. I'm not going to be surprised when your left hip's high in a second, because many times when you have nerve pressure on the right lower, your body will do this. Your left leg might look short as a way to alleviate. Well, this model actually does pretty good. I would actually suspect something similar to this. We have some level of disc coming out, hitting the nerve, so your body tilts to get away from it. And then when you're tilting to the right, you're bringing that disc injury closer to the nerve. And that's why you're feeling it. And then when you press, you're exciting it even more. And then you feel it down the leg. Yeah, left hip, Connor, can you see this? See this? Left hip is high, about a quarter inch, half inch. So you're in what we call antalgia. Anta means away from, algia means pain.
Okay.
So I believe you have a right lower disc injury, and your body is, Ed, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay. But you're in avoidance, and
that's so funny. I can feel that when I'm walking.
You're young enough that you're just in. It's like if I break my right ankle, you're like, I'm fine. Well, it's because you're avoiding it. If you actually put pressure on it when you lean to the right, oh no, there's definitely an injury over there.
Exactly.
You're confronting it, and let's not let it progress farther. The important thing to understand with the discs is they don't replace. So I'm going to put that in a different category of importance, that we need to slow the stress on those discs. Health of the disc comes from 2 things: alignment and mobility. So we're supposed to have a lordotic arch in your lumbar area. Do you see how when there's a curve in the spine, there's not much pressure on the disc?
Yeah.
But when the curve goes straight, do you see how the disc is under much more compression, especially on the front side, which then makes the jelly, does that make sense, shift, what we call posteriorly, towards the nerves in the back. So we want to get the arch back to your spine. That takes the weight off the front, that moves the disc away from the nerve. The alignment of your teeth matters, just like the alignment of your spine matters. but yet our world doesn't help guide people in alignment. And so these are kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
Curve is not created or destroyed, just changes places. So when you're supposed to be, here, when we sit, this curve goes straight and then it goes into an accentuated hump.
Yeah.
So in order to bring it back, we have to actually press here to get this in to restore that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right, so when I round forward, this goes straight and then it goes into a hump in the upper back. So you're going to see me working on your chest a lot, and you're like, Ed, I told you it's down here, it's in my glutes. Why are you working on my chest? Because I can't get you upright without unlocking your chest. I expect to find some level of stiffness in your chest that's causing it. Cross this arm under. There we go, over. Have you been adjusted before?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Many times.
Deep breath in for me. Head back for me. Let all the air out, let it all go. Deep breath in, I got you. Head back, exhale. Yeah, real tight there, I got you. Press a little higher, exhale. Yeah, so see what, and if somebody adjusted you like that and it felt like that and they said it was okay, we got problems. I only got about a third of your back working properly. The upper two segments, totally frozen.
Yeah.
And this, from really here to here, I got some movement here, but from here to here, it was completely locked. And it's not good.
Yeah, and I mean, you'd be able to check, but I think it's more on the right side. I mean, there's been a lot of, even in my movements and exercises, there's been a lot of muscle recruitment.
Okay.
And I'm building a lot of tension there just because of that.
We'll get it. All right, take a deep breath in. Exhale. Look over this shoulder as best you can. There we go. How's that for me? I got complete no movement in your upper back.
Yeah.
And your lower back's like, yeah, sure, I'll move.
Yeah.
Why we have so much? I barely pushed on you.
Yeah.
Okay. So aren't you happy with that? No, I'm not. I'm unhappy with the disparity. Breathe in. Exhale. Yeah, real loose down there. Face up on me. Notice my hand. People on YouTube, you grabbed his butt. There's a joint called the sacroiliac joint.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sure. So this joint never has surgery. Everybody has surgery on these last two guys. Whether this joint works or not can take some stress off this joint. So we're trying to adjust. This is my hands down here on your SI joint. We're trying to loosen this joint here, which takes mechanical stress off these tiny joints in the lower back. Everything's, you love to sleep on your left side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sure do.
I know. Your neck favors left tilting when you sleep on your left side. So this is the same as this.
Yeah.
They're both the same thing. So when you sleep on your left side, your left shoulder comes up and forward. And so when I'm feeling your neck, all the bones are over to the right because your head just tells me where you're used to being. Very gentle. Here we go. Mm-hmm. There you go. How was that? You all right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was great.
Beautiful. Good job. Okay. All right. Beautiful. All right. Yeah. So I was 13 years old. My dad said, "Get in here and start learning how to move bones in the neck." I didn't have a choice as a chiropractor kid. You probably know my sister and I both learned how to adjust at a young age. And what do you say? The first thing you learn is how to move the loose bones, right? Because they're loose, they're easy to move. The second thing you learn how to do is move the loose bones and the stiff bones. And then the last thing you learn to do is to just move the stiff ones.
Were you guys always in Florida?
Yep, my whole life.
Okay, insane.
But we're trying to just move what's tight and to not adjust what's loose. You might say, Ed, I think if you went a little harder, you get more bones to move. I'm not trying to move every bone. We're trying to adjust, like the game Jenga. We're just trying to move a couple pieces up here. Mm-hmm. And the position of even your head to shoulders affects your lumbar. So the more forward your head goes, the more curve you lose in your lower back, the more it influences the pain in your glute. There we go. Yeah, way too tight right there. Your neck doesn't like to tilt to the right. And it's healthcare, right? Mm-hmm. I don't wait for illness before I treat somebody.
That's right.
That's what healthcare really is. Otherwise, it's illness care.
That's a little side on the left too.
I'm going to keep going deeper, but yeah, this is the same thing. Your neck needs to be way back here. This is the lordosis that your neck needs. The alignment allows the weight of your spine to be evenly spread out, so no one area is doing too much.
So if I'm standing, that's how I should be?
Well, right about here, yeah. You should have a curve.
That's tough, man, because everybody's like shorter than us, right?
I know. I'm not saying it's easy. If it was easy, I wouldn't have a job. They'd have devices at Walmart. They could just put the curves back in your neck. You have to have your neck loosened up. Mm-hmm. Everything got to be moving, and then you have to be guided almost like a Sherpa to Mount Everest. You have to have a guide. It's difficult to get to the peak of Mount Everest to begin with, and then without a guide, it's impossible. You know. Almost there. There we go. Yeah. Wow. Very good. Yeah. See, that was the same bone, but it moved at a deeper level, and it definitely had some reluctance there. It was like, I don't know, Ed. It's like I'm running my hand down a piano. All the keys should move easily. No key should be stuck. Mm-hmm. There we go. Nice. Just a little deeper. So this is called gua sha. It's just a way to help speed up blood flow, help bring new blood in, get the old stagnant blood out. Just a way to help speed up healing, which is really the word replacement. Your body doesn't really heal, it replaces new. If you cut your skin, new skin's made, the old skin falls off. We call that healing, but it's really replacement. So by working on the tissue, you bring nutrients in, that helps to speed up that replacement. There a little bit, right there. Yep.
Yep, that's it.
You can feel the tangle.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Right there. There we go. Yeah.
Big difference?
Feel the left side of your middle back is tighter. So left middle tightness causes right lower compensatory abuse. So you're in left avoidance, right? So this is doing 60, 70%. This is doing 30, 40%, right? So this is aging at a faster rate. The original injury is up here on your left middle. That's caused you to compensate. Again, we're going back to the word antalgia. Anta means away from, algia means pain. I don't know how long. The answer to that question is how quickly it goes away, right? How long a stain has been in a carpet will tell you how long it takes to scrub it out of there.
Yeah.
If the stain's been there for 20 years, oh boy, it's going to be hard to scrub that out. But if it's only been there for a week or two, it's easier to get it out. But I don't know how you want to describe that lump right here, but that's the cause. Right there, when your right side feels wonderful, and then you got a restriction right here.
Yeah, that's so crazy because the top was totally different.
Yep. Right there. And then we're stretching. We're going to try to target this area also. There it is. Breathe, I know, breathe. If I'm going too hard, please let me know, okay? I'll try to. All right, hang in there. All right, but please let me know. Don't feel like. Never been accused of going too easy. Ed, I don't feel like you really went that deep. Nobody's ever said that. It's usually, Ed, are you done yet? When are you going to get tired? And I teach you at the end of the visit how to stretch and how to kind of brush your own teeth. You know, how you can use devices to go right in here and emulate what I'm doing here on the table. You're in here till your back is loose, and then we can guide you through how do I take care of my back on my own.
Yeah.
And that's healthcare. 3 times a week, the rest of your life in my office. It's nonsense. It's not how chiropractic is supposed to be.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Right there. You might even feel it in the glute when I press here.
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Oh, you're a magician, man.
How'd you know that? Well, this is where the wires go. This is where the irritation starts. It's right here. But it's simply because the right side's doing extra. It needs to be put on vacation. That's the first step. Now, any area that wasn't doing much that now has to start doing what it was designed to do and more isn't going to be very happy with me. It's not going to embrace me with open arms and go, "Oh, Dr. Ed, we thank you so much for telling me to do all this extra." You know, it ain't going to like me very much, and so I don't make many friends these first few visits. Parts of your back that were frozen, as they get moving, it is difficult. But the reward is high if we can master all this. Can't reshape hard clay. Gotta make everything supple. There we go. In a world that teaches strength and rigidity, I'm teaching flexibility and suppleness, which isn't very popular. Hugh Jackman on the cover of Men's Health magazine is Wolverine with bulging deltoids and bulging power. Strength. You know, I preach Gumby.
Some over there, Doc.
No, it's the left. Left's all. This whole left side has been locked down. See, if an area moves, it doesn't mind me going in and asking it to move. It's only the areas that are frozen that hate me. And we don't move. Haven't moved. Who do you think you are, and what are you doing? These are the roots of your neck, so the more forward your head goes also, these attachments in your shoulder blades get pulled up. So it's not only just about pushing down the attachments, it's also about getting the head back. So there's not constant, tension on these cables.
Yeah.
Abracadabra. No. There it is. That's the clog. So we term this chiropractic biophysics. There's a physics to your back, and it doesn't involve belief. I'm not sure if I believe in chiropractic. It doesn't matter what you believe. There's a physics. If you don't use this part of your back, another part will have to do extra. A candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long. And that's what I'm talking about when I term the disc. The disc is like a candle, right? Once you burn through the candle, there's no more candle wax. It's all been burned through. Your spine's supposed to make it about 120 years, but if you burn the candle twice as bright, it makes it 60, right? If you do it 3 times, it'll do 40,
Yeah.
right? So, and you feel as old as the oldest part of your back, right? So even though most of your back might remain young, if a few parts are older, you feel like, I feel like I'm 60 years old. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. No,
Especially if that older part is being moved all the time. What can be done for people that have beat up parts is if we shut down the mobility in those injured areas and they don't move, you won't notice them.
Call that. What I'm experiencing is a tightness on the top, on the right side,
Mhm.
So would you call that like area aging?
No, this is
that up there, right there, it feels old.
these are just attachments. This is tension from posture.
Mhm.
So these are the roots of your neck.
Yep.
What would age would be your lower neck. This would be a cervical MRI, again, if we want to see it.
Yeah.
What I would suspect is you're 33 and your lower neck is 45. This is 55, right? You have parts of your spine that are older than you are, and we really can't. So before a disc desiccates and dehydrates, which we can see on x-ray, it will actually swell up. So a swollen disc, if we just take x-ray, we miss it. Right? That's a little scary, right? Your x-ray comes back and goes, oh, your disc spaces look really well maintained.
Well, that's what I was told.
Right, but at 33, the disc hasn't dehydrated. So I've seen too many x-rays of good-looking, spaces, and then I get an MRI of that same patient in the same week, right? And the MRI shows disc bulge, right? Swollen disc with the disc bulging out.
Yeah.
And you're completely missing that. So that's scary to me. It's another reason why I don't like x-raying young people. Because you're going to miss, and then you give the person false sense of security, like, your x-ray looks good. Like, no, geez. But yeah, this is all, see the major congestion here, Carl? That's the left side. I mean, there's definitely some congestion on the right. The right's not off scot-free, but it's about, I would say, half as much buildup. A lot of mold kind of idea on this left, and then the right's just abused. Probably most of this is mechanical abuse. You're just pulling on these attachments more here. But yeah, this actually feels pretty good here. I don't mind the way if this feels good, and then you got this just blockade right there.
You guys ever used to watch X-Files?
X-Files, yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, don't do it.
No, don't do it. That intro, man, exactly, yeah. Give me PTSD, yeah, don't do it, no.
That's it.
Yep. So this area gets tasered is the way I would like you need to view this area. It gets electrically activated because there's nerve pressure. Okay, so the tightness here isn't purposeful. It's happening because there's a false signal being sent to the muscle. The only way for it to be relieved is that signal needs to not be sent anymore. The signal's being sent because there's disc or inflammation of the nerve. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now once the nerve is not aggravated, sometimes you still need to go into the tissue to release the spasm. A spasm can be so tight that it's cut off blood flow, so you need circulation and oxygen to drive into the tissue to help unspasm something that's tight.
Yeah.
So do you need to rub the glute? Yes, once the nerve is unpressured, you do need to go in here and clean this out, and it will benefit the area. But just treatment on this glute area is silly. It won't loosen up or relieve the pressure on the nerve. The SI joint is right here, more towards the center. This is what we were adjusting.
Yeah. This is what I was saying why it makes sense what you're saying is because when I press inside, I forget which vertebrae it is. It might be
Yes.
here. Yeah.
Yes.
That's when I feel like shooting in both directions.
L5, yeah, lumbar 5. Your thumb was right over lumbar 5.
Yeah.
That's 75% of back surgery is where you just pointed to.
Oh, man.
And again, they didn't do a good service by doing an x-ray on it. Right? If you told them that symptom and then we just did x-ray, it's highly suspicious that you got a disc injury in here. Right? And you're not going to see it at 33. At 43, we'll see it. 45, we'll start seeing the desiccation. And so they go, oh yeah, the disc is dehydrated and there's your problem. Right? But it was there at 33 when the disc was swollen, and we could have treated it better at 33 than waiting for it to dry out, and now we're on the back end of it.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
So this is partly responsible, just like this, right? You see how this is analogous here. This is the joint that's mechanically stiffer than it's supposed to be. Well, it's like relatively not. This is probably like 10-20% responsible. This is like 80%. But there's some level of responsibility on this joint. Not so much because of how loose it was, but we definitely can benefit by loosening this up further. Just trying to get some blood into that tight muscle to help it get what it needs to relax itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Good. So this is specifically right there on here.
Yeah.
That's where it's right in there. That's where that gets abused because this is tight here. So essentially, and that's why your left hip is high. Your left hip's high, this is all contracted, which pulls up that left hip we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Left hip being high is from this being contracted. This has to relieve, and that'll take some of the mechanical stress off the right or lower. All right. There we go. All right, breathe. That was fun, Ed. Okay. There we go, a little bit. Okay. All right. Put your forehead right there.
Yeah.
Here we go. Good, good, good. All right, I got you, bud. All right, breathe for me. Breathe in deep. Exhale. We're going to stretch a little bit here. Come on. You all right?
Yep.
All right, breathe. Here we go. Exhale. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see?
Dude, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Face down, baby. But do you see what I had to do there?
Yeah.
Right, I had to take you into extension to get that, because you're so far, the bone was so far out of alignment that even adjusting you in neutral, so it should move into neutral. When I did that roller, those bones should have already moved, but the distance is too far. So when you bend forward, the distance opens up. Yeah, like the position, that's perfect, yes.
Yeah.
I want you working on it at home, bringing that, I can't take it from here, I'm not Yasiel Puig, I can't chuck the ball from the warning track to home plate. It's too far. So what I did was I arched you back, which brought you to like shallow outfield, and then I could take it home. Yeah. We want your chest to be doing the bending, not all happening in the lower back, and that's where it might take a few adjustments to get your middle back working sufficiently so that you're not just bending solely in the lower back. That's what then aggravates the glute.
Yeah, this adjustment I never had.
All right, well, get everything here. I got you. Go ahead and tilt your head to the left a little bit for me.
Okay, all right. All right, we moving.
Go ahead and tilt your head to the left. Okay, so good. All right, I got you. Go ahead and tilt your to the right a little bit for me. Here we go. Wow, that's a lot on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got it all. Do you want to tilt to the right a little bit? I think we got it. Okay, good. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be up in the middle of the night. I almost had it. Ooh. That just felt good on my end.
You had so much fun with it.
That was for me. For England, James? No. For me. All right, there we go. Press your elbow back a little bit. Here you go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. Yep. Look up for me a little bit. There we go. Press back a little bit for me. There we go. Yeah.
That one went before you even.
Yeah, that's good. Get the idea. We have to start working on that upper back hump that's forming. So as you've lost your curve in your lower back, it's gone into an accentuated, rounded forward curve in your upper back to the point where I had to actually arch you back to get those bones to actually adjust.
Yeah.
The distance was too far. It shouldn't require that, and I would believe if you lived in Sarasota, by visit 5, 6, 7, those would all adjust even in neutral, right?
Yeah. I'll be back. I'll make the drive.
You're doing good. I'm just saying, but that's going to bring this roller right down in a minute, down to that spot that I was targeting with my elbow. So,
okay, so
when,
go up a little bit?
Yep, go down a little bit more. Get the idea. And
right.
Yep. Oh yeah. Try to keep the bottom down. Yeah. It's going to be difficult. If your hands go tingly, you can put them to the side. Get the idea. You're going to work. All these angles are going to be worked. If it's too difficult, you can put your hands down by your side or on your belly. But
this one actually feels good when I'm with
you all right? You all right?
Yeah.
Good. Just leave them there. There you go. Yeah. Now what happens is if you start feeling it in your lower back or in the glute and it's getting worse, I understand if you already feel it there, you need to move away.
No, actually I feel good right now.
Good. It should feel good. But my point is that it should just move where it's pressing.
Mm-hmm.
What can happen the first dozen times you start stretching is it moves where we don't want it to move. And if that happens, you need to actually move away. Otherwise, I would get on television to sell these things, right? Because most lay people can't get on this without bending in unintended areas. That's probably as low as you go right there.
Yeah, that's where it feels a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I wouldn't go any lower than there. You might be a little. My point is that where you'll be able to go in the future, it might stay a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
Stay a little bit higher away from it. Eventually, you'll be able to go down there more safely as your back is moving in a more supple fashion. So the table work, everything I do on that table with the elbow and the gua sha, the adjustments, is to make this easier and to make this effective, and so that you can do this yourself at home and you're free to go.